Lux, Anguis here. One thing I do have to instill within yourself that will perhaps help you in your own moments of weakness. And by weakness, I mean in regards giving in into one's own bad habits or doing some actions that gives one own self instant relief of some kind, like addictions, intoxications, losing one's own self in distractions, essentially speaking. And I'm speaking there out of my own struggle or struggles throughout my life pursuing my path. I tend to catch myself in those situations when I have lost my own personal plot. What do I mean by that? My own personal purpose, my own path here, my own self, essentially. But by self, I mean by things that deeply and authentically resonate with the concept of the now that I am. I know it sounds more complicated than it is or should be, but I guess it can be complicated, but it is okay. Where by purpose, I mean especially for a man and woman, and a woman too, but it's more so for the male species or gender, so to say, that is almost like a need, so to say, in most cases. It's like when we lose our purpose, when we lose our drive to be, we tend to get lost in instant gratification, in pleasures that are detrimental to one's own overall health and well-being. And it's almost like a very deathly instinct that we have. It's called thanateros, the desire or the drive for death or self-death, unconsciously speaking. What tends to happen is if we lose our purpose to live for, what takes us over, be it consciously and more so on an unconscious level, is thanateros. It's the desire for death. It's the desire for leaving life earlier, so to say. And that means in a subconscious way, we are telling our own self, everything is already done. We can leave now. We can sit back now. We can go earlier to the grave. Like our soul's mission is done, but that can be an illusion. Let me tell you why. Our modern living uses the drive of thanateros, of the desire for death, against us. The best prime example of that is, I cannot give the complete name of that for censor reasons, but corn, corn, you know what I mean, just replace it with P. It's a very, very deep thanateros drive, because it does fulfill a mere desire to duplicate, to procreate, to give off offspring of some kind. It abuses this drive. And let's just also say on both ways, because physical male and females both have this drive to life too. But I'm just speaking predominantly for the male side, because quite frankly, I am a male. I have my own male experience that I like to share. But I wouldn't say it's any different for women too. Maybe it not maybe, but it manifests on a different way for women, I guess. Um, but yeah, be careful about that. Things that abuse your drive of death, that it overtakes you soon. There is such a thing as a soul's mission. There is such a thing as something that's deep in alignment within your own blueprint of your right now being that you have to live. And in Hinduism's term, it's called dharma. It's you fulfill your purpose. You are in complete alignment to your divine self and what you have to do and what you want to do, what you are in alignment to do. In other terms, also called the Tao, your complete alignment to this stuff. And it transcends karma, it transcends the negative and positive actions, so to say. It goes beyond that. But I do not want to deviate too much from this actual topic. And the actual topic is what tends to happen is when you delineate your own purpose, your own drive for artificial stuff, like this example of corn, you get lost in it. You get addicted to it. But the only thing that you're doing, you're just holding up the process for what you already are here to do. Nothing less. And what tends to help me to overcome my addictions, my weaknesses, my moments of weaknesses is to remember and to remind myself I have a dharma, I have a mission to fulfill. And for most males that I like to give unto your heart and your mind and your soul and spirit is mastery. You're here for mastery. Nothing else. Nothing else really matters. At least that's just my perspectives of many. What my perspective is mastery. It's a very deep core drive that you want to and that you have to tap into is mastery. And what I mean by mastery, I mean you want to reach in whatever category mastery over of. In my case, it's spiritual, magical, and occult mastery. It is something that very early on in my life I felt deep within compelled and driven to do. That is essentially what I'm mainly here for, besides many others, quote unquote, side quests. You have to find what it is that you want to reach mastery in. Nothing else matters, really. It is mastery that matters the most. And mastery is the one thing that will help you cut through illusions and distractions and mitigating and overcoming your own personal weaknesses. So yeah, my answer to all of that is having a very compelling drive, focus, attention, and discipline towards mastery. So yeah, I hope it helps. If interested in more magic and education of such, check out my link in my bio. Other than that, NAGA, CONCECRATE, and we shall see you again.